Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast, and I'm just checking in on you. Checking in. Some of my voice is junk. I just did 6 shows up in San Jose Cruz. Remember him for the Houston Astros? That was one of my favorite players. Yeah, my voice is going to be a little, it's going to be a little rough, you know. I did 6 shows up there, 2 Monday, 2 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday. Just like when I was in Phoenix, 2 Monday, 2 Tuesday, 2 fucking Wednesday. I'm putting together my new hour. And I really felt by Wednesday of this week, it had gotten to the point where it was starting to take shape. And I was very happy. And I want to thank everybody who came out, you know, on school nights. I know you guys all have to work unless you hit the fucking lottery. I assumed all of you had to go to work the next day. So I want to thank everyone in San Jose who came out to go see me, and thank you for sitting through the new jokes. I had a great time up there. Worked with Dean Del Rey. He fucking crushed it all fucking week. Had a great time working with them, you know. And Dean, like, this is the funny thing about Dean. When I work with Dean, you know, he doesn't party or anything like that. He's done all of that shit, so he's over it. So then, you know, I'm a fucking codependent jackass, you know what I mean? So, I mean, to a point. Someone's doing coke and heroin, I'm like, hey, I'm going to bed, okay? But when it comes to the booze or smoking cigars, right? That's why, you know, me and all my friends, I mean, we're all codependent guys, and we just fucking feed off of each other, and it becomes fucking, you know, Animal House. But, so he doesn't do that, right? So I'm like, oh, it's going to be great, you know? I'm not going to spend any extra money, boozing, no extra calories. I was hitting the gym. I was doing everything great. But the thing about Dean is he has impeccable taste in shit that I like. Old instruments, old cars. He was showing me this guy that fucking redoes these Porsche 911s out here. They were just fucking insane. Insane. Like, he has all, like, you know, not a lot of stuff, but he has all top of the line shit. So I was joking with him. I was like, all the money that I'm going to fucking not blow in a bar after my show, I'm then going to spend 10 times more of that on fucking eBay after I get done talking to you. But anyways, he murdered it all week. We had such a great time. And the San Jose Improv, that's one of my favorite places because it's a small theater, you know, from the turn of the last century. I believe it was built in the 1890s, burned down, back when shit used to burn down all the time because it was made out of fucking wood. You know, as opposed to what now, Bill? Well, I don't know. They didn't have sprinklers. That's what it was. What, a house is made out of plastic, Bill? You know, you've been out in Hollywood so long, you're plastic phony, you think everything's made out of plastic? Well, then they would melt, right? Plastic isn't flammable, but it just cowers. You know what I mean? Like your friend who says, I got your back, I'm not going to fucking rat you out. And then all of a sudden the teacher comes walking in and he goes, it was his idea. That's what plastic is. You know why? Because it's man-made. Anyway, so it burned down, and then they, you know, rebuilt it in the early 1900s. And everyone from, like, Harry Houdini, Charlie Chaplin, they always bring up those two guys. Nobody ever says, you know, Fatty Arbuckle played here. Nobody gives a shit, right? I love that name, Fatty Arbuckle. You know, that's back when you said what the person was, for better or for worse. You know what I mean? You know, you could just say, Fatty Arbuckle. Why? Because he's a fat fuck. You know, sure, he had a first name. Nobody knows what it is. But people go, you know, back then it was great. You know, you fucking, yeah, but then people also walking around dropping the fucking N-word, you know, like they were saying, pass the sugar. But the upside to that was you knew who thought what, as opposed to now, where everybody goes African-American, homosexual American, Japanese American, and you have no idea who's what. Everybody's walking around. You feel like you're in the fucking Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Who's thinking what, right? Everybody's reading from the same book. It's not a good goddamn thing. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. I literally got on the earliest flight. I'm doing this thing now because I want to rush home and see my daughter. But I get home because I take the earliest flight out and I'm fucking exhausted. Then I have to go to sleep. So, sucks. I came home. I think she has to remember who I am. Just 3 days away. 3 days away, like as far as what percentage of her life. She was looking at me like, making this face like, who the fuck is this guy? She didn't cry, thank God. That would have broke my heart. But, you know, it took me like 20 minutes to get a smile out of her. What else am I going to do? What am I going to get, a 9-to-5 job? You know? Drive a fucking Chevy Cavalier. Like, what the fuck a lot of you guys are doing right now, stuck in traffic. I know you don't want to do that, right? You got a dream. Let me tell you something. You got to find that dream and you got to go after it. Kidding. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know, there's a lot of times I look at somebody sitting in a cubicle going, that would be great. Right there. I just fucking sit there. I go from here to right fucking there, right? And my chair spins from this to here, right? That's my range of fucking motion. I get my job done and I go home. And you know something? If this company goes under, I don't give a fuck. I'll just go to another one. Ain't on me. You know? Not rent to own, rent to leave. That's how you do it. Anyways, what's going on in my world other than that I'm finally excited about my new hour. Finally, I have some fucking jokes. The fucking Boston Bruins, dude, they got to win tonight. They're playing fucking Tampa Bay Lightning down there in Florida. Dude, I know like fucking 12 people already fucking moved down there. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. It's like, what are you, fucking 80? Can't take the winner anymore? You're going to lose your edge, dude. Dude, I went down there. I visit fucking Bobby McCarthy. Dude, he's always walking around in shorts, fucking flip-flops, sitting down by a dock, hanging out with all these fucking weirdos. Just like, dude, you know, look at you. You're all fucking tanned up. You know, it's good, but you got to come back, dude. You got to go to Dunkies. Get too large with extra sugar. Bruins are in the middle of a 3-game fucking slide. We lost to Edmonton, and then we went over Edmonton, Alberta, and then we went to Toronto, Ontario, and we fucking lost there. And then we went to Ottawa, the capital, ladies and gentlemen, of Canada. I was trying to remember all the provinces. They have provinces and territories. There's 10 provinces and 3 territories up there. And I can never fucking remember them because most of them begin with N. Whatever, enough of them do. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. Then there's something in Labrador Retriever or some shit. What the fuck is it? New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island. Then the rest are easy. You're just going across according to fucking hockey teams. The Quebec Nordiques. Well, Toronto Maple Leafs. They're not the Ontario Maple Leafs. And they're not the Manitoba fucking Jets. It's the Winnipeg Jets, right? Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia. Then you go up top. You got the Northwestern Territory. You got Yukon. And then the other one, like, fucking begins with an N. It sounds like an Italian word, but it isn't. Like, forget about it. What the fuck is that thing called? This has to be, in the history of podcasting, the most boring thing anybody's ever brought up. Canadian, come on, you cunt. I'm in Wikipedia. Canadian territories. The fuck is it called? It's something Italian. Provinces and territories of Canada. Please take out your geography books. The fuck is it called? Oh, yeah. None of it. Oh, no, doesn't sound Italian. Hey, we'll have none of it. Knock it off. We'll have none of it. No, none of that. None of that would work. Fuck off. I got most of them. All right. So anyways, the Bruins are playing Tampa Bay tonight. We need a win. You know, if we just fucking beat Edmonton, we just won one of those fucking games. We had little breathing room, and now we don't. Now it's just like, you know, Joe Bartnick talked me off the ledge. He goes, you know, they were fucking tired. They had back-to-back games. Don't fucking hit the panic button yet. But then we lost again to fucking Ottawa, okay? So I'm going to listen to Joe Bartnick because he knows way more about hockey than I'll ever fucking know. But if they lose tonight, we're looking at possibly 3 years in a row of being in the playoffs with 2 weeks to go in March and then sitting at home, you know? Which Bartnick has told me that's the worst fucking thing, to just miss the playoffs, okay? Because you don't get any playoff money and you don't get a good draft pick. But who knows? Maybe somebody will miss somebody good. I mean, that's how we got Tom Brady, right? Everybody just fucking was looking at him like, you know. I mean, he's got a nice dimple in his chin, but other than that, I don't know. You can see why they passed him by. You can see why they passed him by when he fucking dove after he threw that pick six, you know, in the Super Bowl this year. Just look that up, him diving to tackle, and just look at how unathletic he looks. You know, anytime anybody ever says, like, fucking, how the fuck did all these teams wait to the, what was he, in the 4th round, 6th round? How did they miss this guy? Just show that video. And just say, imagine that running the 40-yard dash. You know what Tom Brady is? He's a fucking sleeper. That's what he is. He showed up looking like a Volvo station wagon, and they didn't realize what was under the hood. You know what it was? It was a 454 cubic inches of fucking hat, dude. Sorry. All right, plowing ahead. Other sports talk. Formula One starts on this Sunday, if you want to get into it like I did last year. And last year, the Mercedes-Benz team with Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, the since retired Nico Rosberg, because he wanted to hang out with his daughter, which I didn't or his kid, which I didn't understand until I came home after 3 days in San Jose, and my own daughter's looking at me like, is this the driver? Who the hell's this guy? Who knows? I always want to blame the woman, you know, that his wife was like, it's really dangerous. I mean, you won the championship. I mean, this whole thing with Lewis, you talk about it all the time. We can't even sit down for a meal. I get it. You think he's a cunt. But, you know, what about us? Can you just be here with me? You know, that's the danger of being with the wrong woman. You end up stepping out of a Formula One car and just say, hey, you know what? Or maybe he's smart. Maybe he's just like that guy who plays blackjack and goes up early and just says, hey, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going back to the room. Taking my money, and I'm going back to the fucking room. I have no idea. I don't even understand this goddamn sport, to be honest with you. I still don't understand what happened to the steering wheel and why it looks like a fucking Game Boy now. And how the fuck sitting there, like, driving that goddamn fast, you have time to take your hand off the wheel and fucking search for that button to pick a new suspension, like you're in a Tesla with your friend driving up fucking Route 2. Hey, you want me to put it in insane fucking mode, whatever the hell it is? Except they're doing this shit at 200 miles an hour. By the way, I went by a Tesla dealership when I was up in San Jose, and they had the new one up there. You know, that had the original one just had the motor for the rear wheels. Now they got one for the front and the back. And evidently, it goes if you get the top of the line, the best one, right? It's literally with them. It's just like what gives it makes it worth more money is the amount of fucking electrical power you have. It's all because everything other than that, I think they're pretty much all the same. And if you get the top of the line one, it goes 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That's like that's motorcycle level speed. And it's a 4-door, looks like a fucking Nissan Maxima. Not even, no, it doesn't look like that. It looks like maybe like a Toyota Supra fucked a Nissan Maxima, one of those late 80s ones. Was it the Supra or the Celica? I can't fucking remember. All I know is, you know what car I would love to fucking own for like a year? Is one of those, like a 71 or a 72, like Datsun 510. Just have the whole fucking thing redone. I got to be honest with you. I'm hard pressed to find a fucking car that I can't see that wouldn't be fun to drive. You know what I mean? There's so many fucking great cars out there. The only ones I'm not really interested in is all the American muscle cars at this point, because they're just fucking everywhere. Everybody has one. Every time you put on Mika, we got some more power coming up, and it's the same. Yeah, here comes a Cuda. Here comes a fucking Hemi this, Hemi that. Here comes the Shelby. Here comes the fucking, they only made a couple of these Camaros. This is a 1969. This is a Mustang Boss. They're all fighting over the same fucking 3 models. Meanwhile, there's all these other fucking cool-ass cars out there. I'm actually glad that the baby boomers are still infatuated with that, because it keeps the prices down of the shit that I like. Yeah, I'm a fucking weirdo, dude. I like those Ford vans from the 60s. It's just a shame that, a couple of fucking serial killers that dressed up like clowns drove around in vans. They really ruined the name of them. But what the upside of that, the upside of pedophilia is if you're into vans, you can get one for really cheap. The trade-off is you can never grow a mustache for the rest of your life. That's it. Anyway, so Formula One starts this Sunday in Australia. And last year, the Mercedes-Benz teams were the Mercedes-Benz team, was the team to beat. And this year, evidently, the Ferraris are looking like they're going to be really strong. And I guess everybody's rooting for who the fuck is the Australian driver there for the Red Bull team? He's coming down there. What the fuck's his name? What's his name? Daniel Ricciardo. Hello.
We're getting ready to leave.
You're getting ready to leave?
Yeah.
Does she still remember who I am? She was looking at me like, who the hell is this guy? All right, sweetie.
Say goodbye to Dada.
Huh? Can I get a smile? Can I get a... She's staring at the microphone. I like that, huh? You going to get in showbiz?
Oh, no.
Treat me like a fool. Yeah, I think she's kind of over me. Let me hang with her for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Today.
Get that bond back?
Get the bond back.
Yeah. Can you say bye-bye, Dada?
She's just staring at it. She'd rather look at a pillow than me. Hey, buddy, remember me? Look at me. Who do you think paid for that onesie? That was me. Nothing? She's literally looking down. She's got no interest. Unbelievable. That's the kind of charisma I have. All right. You guys go have fun.
Okay, bye.
I'll see you.
Bye, everybody on the podcast.
All right. Bye. See you later to my two ladies. All right. So she didn't look at me once. Whatever. I understand. Okay. It's a brand new brain. Still working. She's putting together her shit the way I'm putting together my act. Either that or she already doesn't like me. But, I really can't blame her. Daniel Ricciardo is the guy. But here's the thing about him. Australia claims the guy. All right? Which is bullshit, I think, because he didn't move to fucking Australia till he was 7. He came from Sicily. All right? I bet he's got some stories about everybody teasing him with this fucking accent when he first showed up to Australia. I bet he's got some stories. And he's Sicilian, so you know he never forgets. But whatever, Australia, we'll let you claim him. Maybe you got kicked out like all those Brits and sent to that fucking land. Who knows? But so everybody's going to be pulling for him. I can't fucking wait. I can't believe how excited I am for this shit. That I finally stuck it through one of those whole seasons, and now I'm totally into it. So I'm probably boring a lot of you, but who knows? All right, let's get to some more bullshit here. Did I already talk about everything? Oh, you know what else I did when I was up there? The Improv up there found a drum room for me. And on 2 days, I got to play for 2 hours both fucking days. I snuck 4 hours in. That's what I do when I'm on the road, because I can't really play drums, as much as I like, which is basically an hour to 2 hours every fucking day. I can't do that anymore. Now I get out, a couple days a week if I'm lucky. But I got the whole practice pad kit and all that shit here. So I got to go out and do that shit, see how awful my playing is now. It was really fucking depressing, but it was still a good time. All right, here we go. Let's read a little. Oh, you know what? I have announcements I have to do. If I sound like I'm all over the place, it's because I got like 2 hours fucking sleep. The flight was at like 6:50 a.m., I usually don't do a podcast when I flew the same fucking day. So, all right, what am I supposed to do here? Oh, I have to remind the listeners about Deanna Adler, Steven Adler's mom. I interviewed her with Steven Adler and Jamie Adler. That was posted yesterday. Please listen to it. And Steven's mother is going to be at Barnes & Noble doing a book signing a week from yesterday. So that will be the 29th. March 29th, she's going to be there. Let me double check on that. Make sure I don't fuck that up. That would be a bad thing. That would defeat the purpose of them coming on here. All right, where am I? Yeah, the 29th at 7 p.m. at the Grove on Fairfax here in Los Angeles. She's going to be at the goddamn mall down there where they used to have 2 stadiums, by the way. They used to have a football stadium down there, And they used to have a baseball stadium. If you ever watch those old school black and white home run derbies and you wonder where they are, I always thought they were like in like the Washington Senators, the original, Washington Senators ballpark, but they were actually out here in LA, which makes sense because it's a fucking TV show. Anyways, now it's a CBS slot. And where all that shit stood, they knocked it all down and then they did like 9 million episodes of The Price is Right. So you know what? The world moves ahead. All right, Indochino. Sorry, just blew out your eardrums. Indochino, everybody. Chino. Talk about how a made-to-measure suit fits compared to a generic off-the-rack suit and how every man looks better in a suit. Hey, why don't you fucking write something and I'll read that. I got to sit here and riff. They used to do that to comedians way back in the day. They probably still do it. We used to go in for commercial auditions and you'd show up and there's no copy. There's no copy. They just want to see personality. And then you'd go in there and you'd hold up the product and you'd sit there riffing all this shit. And then they would just steal all your jokes. They wouldn't hire you and then they'd write the copy. Oh, I think I told this story. Patrice fucking called him out on it. That's right. I think I told this actually recently too. I just remember him standing there. He goes, he just walked in with like a can of Coke and just stared all like three of them down. Just said, what is this horse shit? And they all imploded and told him exactly what the fuck they were doing. All right. Do I really need to riff about this? Okay. Unless you're fucking the exact same measurements of a mannequin, something's going to look fucked up and you're just not going to look right. Okay. If you have a suit that's fucking tailor-made to your body, obviously. You ever buy a tarp for your car? If you buy the one for your model car, it fits like a glove as opposed to just getting some generic one. There's a little gust of wind and it blows right off. Do you want your suit pants to come flying off and then your dick's peeking out of your boxers at the Christmas party? Or do you want a fitted suit? Well, thank God for Indochino, whatever the fuck they are. They're making it easy to get a perfectly tailored suit at an incredible price. You can choose from hundreds of top quality Are there hundreds of fabrics? How many are there? It's like cotton, silk, and rayon in my world. The fuck else is there? Plastic? Leather? Yeah, that's it. I thought there was less fabrics than there was fucking banks. Not individual banks. I mean like Chase, Wells Fargo. That's what the fuck I mean. Hey, Bill, why don't you just read the copy? All right. Fucking relax. All right. You can choose from hundreds of top quality fabrics and personalize your suit just the way you want it. Whether it's for work, a wedding, or another special occasion. Whether you're a defendant, whether you're running for office, whether you're coming to town, you're going to sell all the fucking rubes there, instruments that don't exist. Indochino has suited up hundreds of thousands of men and are now the largest made-to-measure menswear brand in the world. Here's how it works. Visit a showroom or shop online at Indochino.com. Pick your fabric, choose your customizations from lapels to pleats to jacket linings and more. Place your order and wait for it to arrive in just a few weeks. This week, my listeners can get any premium Indochino suit for only $389. $389 is a sport coat? Does that come with pants? At Indochino.com. When you enter Burr at checkout, that's 50% off the regular price for a made-to-measure premium suit plus shipping is for free. Dude, to get a fucking, a custom suit, made to measure for only $389. That's pretty fucking good. How do you spell Indochino? Indochino. Indochino.com. Promo code Burr for any premium suit for just $389 and free fucking shipping. All right. How many more do we have of these fucking things? The black tux, everybody. The black tux? What's wrong with the white one? The black tux, everybody. Looking great for a wedding or special event has never been easier with thebblacktux.com. With a high-quality rental suits and tuxedos delivered to your doorstep, The Black Tux is giving guys a new way to rent. And get this. Get a load of this, everybody. The Black Tux offers free home try-on. So you can see the fit. I always pictured when you're trying it on, some old guy standing on your front porch looking through the screen door, with his old man clothes, and around his fucking, with his tape measure around his neck or whatever the fuck you call it. Not a tape measure. The tape measure for people, whatever you call that thing. The best part, it's completely done online. No trips to the tux shop required. The Black Tux, like the Ohio State, theblacktux.com, lets you create your look or choose from tons of styles, selected outfits starting at just $95. These suits have a modern fit and are made from fine Italian wool. Oh, there's another fabric. Cotton, silk, leather, rayon, wool. 5 down, 95 to go. The highest quality on the rental market. And if you have any questions or issues, their expert customer care team has your back every fucking step of the way. And after ordering, your suit will arrive 14 days before your event. That's a full 2 weeks to try it on and make sure everything fits. If anything is less than perfect, the Black Tux will send you a free replacement right away. When your event's over, just drop your rental back in the mail. Shipping is free both ways. How easy is that? To get $20 off your purchase, visit theblacktux.com/Burr. That's theblacktux.com/Burr for $20 off your purchase. All right. Hey, I got to get a glass of water. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. I apologize if you can hear construction in the background. It's not my house, thank fucking God. It's the house next door, but, the houses are all so close together out here for whatever fucking reason. Probably because there's 7 billion people live out here. All right, distilled jeans, everybody. Great jeans. Oh, they don't have to be complicated. No, I can't find the buttons. If you're not into crazy stitching, diamonds, or embedded studs, you're not alone. Distilled, pronounced distilled, offers luxury-grade denim at an affordable price. Jeans that would normally cost you hundreds, Distilled just has for fucking $75. They utilize the same fabrics, factories, and wash houses as the best-known brands and designers. So the same fucking poor bastards are washing all these jeans while skipping the markups and the middlemen. The result, pure, unadulterated denim without the rental runaround. Just go to distilled.com, spelled DSTLD.com, and see where minimalist design meets maximum comfort. Oh, well, these things feel great on your balls. They guarantee the fit. They'll ship them to you for free, and you can give free returns until you find the perfect pair. They actually sent me a pair. These things are fucking great. It's great, and you don't have to go to the mall. It's fucking wonderful. Distilled has been featured in Forbes, Times, and TechCrunch, as well as on denim-clad celebrities in GQ and Vogue. Distilled is the only place in the U.S. you can get this quality of denim for this price point. You can find their amazing selection of outerwear, leather jackets, T-shirts, and more using the same principles of the high-grade materials at low-end costs. Distilled is your answer to elevate your style. Just go to distilled.com/Burr right now to get 10% off your first pair. DSTLD.com/Burr. All right, LegalZoom. Mercifully, the last one. Oh, shit, it's National Small Business Month. It always is. At LegalZoom.com, you know something? National Small Business Month is like when you have some shithole store that always has that sign up that they're going out of business. Going out of business, and they're in business for like another 10 years. Anyways, National Small Business Month at LegalZoom.com it's here. And timing, couldn't be better. Approval rates for business loans are up. Oh, great. And so is consumer confidence. Is it? But it takes a lot more than a good timing to launch a successful business. That's why LegalZoom created a free business startup kit. Part of being an entrepreneur is utilizing the right resources to help you succeed. You can't be an expert at everything. So go to LegalZoom.com/startup today and download your free startup kit. You'll get educational ebooks and LegalZoom discounts to save money setting up your business. Plus, you can save thousands of dollars, mucho dinero, through LegalZoom's partners. What? Plus, you can save thousands of dollars through LegalZoom's partner offers to help with financing, marketing, and day-to-day operations, things you'll need to run a successful business. Did I write that sentence? I could spend 20 minutes trying to break that fucking thing down. Is that a fragment? Is that a run-on? There's no obligation, everybody. Just a lot of great resources. LegalZoom isn't a law firm. No, that's not what they are. Why would you think that? Just because it says legal in their name. But they're dedicated to make life easier for the business owners. Whether you're thinking of starting a business or already run one, go to LegalZoom.com/startup. during National Small Business Month to take advantage of your free business startup kit. That's LegalZoom.com/startup. Oh, guess what? I wanted to thank somebody. Somebody on Twitter sent me somebody uploaded an entire Boston Bruins versus the Chicago Blackhawks from 1974. And it's the Bruins feed, so it's Fred Cusick doing the game. Spoiler alert, the Chicago Blackhawks win the faceoff. They win the draw. It goes back to Stan Mikita, who shoots it down to the Bruins end, and it's then picked up by Bobby Orr. And it's the whole fucking game. I just sat there, and it's a great quality. I hope nobody goes and fucking takes it down. It's unbelievable. If you just want to check it out, like the first thing I always notice, aside from no helmets, is like how small the goalies are. It's like one of these guys scored like a fucking. Everybody was scoring 50 goals, but so many people scored 50 back then. These guys barely took up, like it looked like a third of the net. Stand-up goalies, you know. They play goalie. They look like they're in the Rockettes. They just fucking kick their legs out and shit. But it's a you know what? Maybe I'll put a link to it from the podcast. Whatever, the MM podcast or at the MMP. Is that what the Twitter is? I have no fucking idea. Anyways, that's the podcast here for this Thursday. I got something I got to go do. I apologize. I know I was a little scatterbrained here, but however, you can listen to some nice music and then listen to a podcast from I don't know when it's going to be. It's from yesteryear when I was a little bit younger. My brain wasn't as scatterbrained. It's always been scatterbrained. Who's kidding who? All right. Please enjoy the next half of the podcast and have a nice weekend, you cunts.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and this is the Monday morning podcast for March 25th, 2009. Fucking podcast. This is starting to feel like Groundhog Day for me. I'm going to be a little grumpy, a little extra grumpy this week because I don't know what happened. I do know what happened. I went out drinking last night, and I stayed out until about 2 in the morning. And was driving home, and I saw a coyote. And I slowed down and for some reason felt the need to yell at it, you know, just to see what it would do. Because according to black comedians, that's what white people do around wild animals, and God damn it, I am the stereotype. If that was a black motherfucker, shit, he keep driving down the motherfucking road. White person be pulling over going, hey there, coyote. What the fuck are you doing, huh? You want to bite me in the ass? That's literally what the fuck I did. I was a hacky Def Jam bit, and those were two of the worst impressions of two races you're ever going to hear. But go fuck yourself. I'm still in my pajamas. You wear pajamas, Bill? When it's cold in my apartment, I do. Still comfortable with my sexuality. Let me tell you something. If you wear pajamas as a man and you don't have a child, you're a fucking, I don't know what, but you're not something I want to be around. These pajama bottoms are my way of saying that I hate myself. Oh, Bill, why would you say that? Anyways, yeah, so I just pulled over and I started yelling at this coyote. I didn't even want to stand. I was like, hey, I just want to see if he'd do something. Then I started whistling at him, you know, not in like a sexual way. I'm not a creep. I was whistling at him like he was domesticated. I just want to see if I could fuck him up, you know, just going, come here, man, come here, boy. And the thing was looking at me like, dude, are you serious? And I was like, no, not really. I just wanted to see what you would do, you fucking cunt. And then I drove home. And I had some salami and some horseradish cheddar cheese. And, you know what I got the other day? I got this new Sam Adams. I really am a douchebag this week. I'm wearing pajamas. I'm drinking Sam Adams. If I have a story that involves me having a sandwich with an olive in it, you guys should really just unsubscribe to my podcast at this point. Or maybe any story where I'm standing here in a blazer with a pipe. Yeah, I bought this new Sam Adams beer. Like, they have like the seasonal ones. What is it? The blackberry something beer? I know, sounds gross, right? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that sounds gross. I'm like, but it's Sam Adams. Somehow they make this shit taste good. That cherry wheat was something of theirs I drank, and I thought it was the most delicious beer I ever had. And by the third one, I felt like I'd eaten a whole bag of candy. And I was like, I need to stop. But I still get those. I like the summer ale, so I figured, fuck it. You know what it was? I had just seen a Sam Adams commercial, and I fucking challenge you to not want to go drink 12 beers after seeing a Sam Adams commercial. You know, you ever see those commercials when the guy sticks his fucking face in those hops? Grabs two big handfuls. They show how many extra hops they put in, which I don't even know what that does. Evidently, it makes it more tasty. And then when they put it in that beer glass shape like a voluptuous woman, you know, and it just looks that perfect color. That's what was in my head, and I was at the grocery store. I was like, oh, man, they got a new flavor, and that guy's face in the hops. That's very sexual. Like he's buried his face in some chick's pussy, and then in the end they show her all filled up and fulfilled, you know, all filled up and fulfilled. There's a sentence for you. So anyway, blackberry, sweet of the something like darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. They got me. They all went sex on me, and I fucking bought it. And I'm going to tell you, that's the worst goddamn tasting beer I've ever had in my fucking life, okay? You know, I'm a big fan of these smaller brewers, even though they're huge. Sam Adams is huge now. But I'll tell you, Sammy, you missed the mark on that one, because that tasted like, I don't know what it tasted like. It tasted like Sam Adams' armpit, okay? That's that didn't even make sense. I'm just avoid the Sam Adams Blackberry, whatever the fuck it's called. It's like, what the fuck was I thinking? Blackberry? You know what the advertisement for that shit should be? It should be, it's not a wine cooler, it's not a beer. Or maybe like it's a bad cop buddy movie. You know, he's a beer, he's a wine cooler, and together they taste like ass. What is the name? I'm actually in my refrigerator right now. The Blackberry, oh, Jesus, I can't pronounce that. Witbier? Witbier. Is that some fancy German way of spelling whatever fucking word that's supposed to be? That's not a word. There's no space between it. I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah. I feel like I'm in Woodstock right now. You ever see that thing where they're like, stay away from the red tabs, man? I'm telling you, stay away from the Blackberry Sam Adams Witbier. All right? It's not a good fucking scene. It's not a good fucking scene. And yes, Jesus Christ. What? You know, that's it. I'm done with that. Anytime there's any sort of fruit in a beer, you got to be done. Although, I do like, what is that beer they put the slice of orange in? I'm just really going to just say one douchebag thing about my personality after another on this podcast. This is what it is. You know? If for some reason one of you finds me to be your hero and you took out the CD cover and taped it on the ceiling above your bed, you know, I just realized I don't have a poster myself. What kind of fucking entertainer am I that I don't have that poster? You know what I mean? Where I'm standing under the tree, you know, both hands up on the tree branch above me with the little seashell necklace and my shirt open down to my navel. That little Sean Cassidy poster. That's when you know you made it. That's when you know you made it. When you're posing for that picture and nobody around you is telling you it's a bad idea, that's when you know you made it. That's when you know, because you are making so much fucking money. People are afraid to tell you that maybe you shouldn't be sitting on a tire swing with one leg in the air, you know, for the poster of your upcoming tour. Okay, that was a long way to go to do a Sean Cassidy reference. Anyways, this is the Monday Morning Podcast, and if you are new to my page, my website or my MySpace page, welcome. I do one of these every single Monday, and people send me lists of questions, not questions, co-questions, because it is the Internet. They send me lists of questions, and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. These fucking pajamas are killing me. It's fucking up with my brain. I don't know why I got a lint in my brain this week. Lint in my fucking brain. When am I I'm freaking out about something right now, and I can't even figure out what the fuck it is. But anyways, I do this podcast every single week. Yeah, they send me questions, and they send me their list of underrated, overrated things. They give me movie reviews. They ask me for advice. They tell me to go fuck myself. Every once in a while, someone's such a cunt, they become douchebag of the week. And lately, people have been sending me stories about revenge, which I find fascinating because that's one of the few evils that I've actually resisted. I have not partaked in. Before I get too deep into this podcast, I want to let you guys know that my stand-up special, Why Do I Do This, evidently is on demand. So if you want to have a little party, you know, get out your little fucking teacups and a table that's way too big for you to be sitting at, because that's what you do at a tea party, don't you? Does anybody over the age of 5 have a fucking tea party? Do they do that over in England? Or do they just have fucking tea and just sit there and stare out at the clouds? All right, let's get on with the podcast. Okay, that was my opening just burst of energy, trying to make this fucking thing funny because I only got 5 hours sleep last night. Oh, poor fucking baby. You only got 5 hours sleep, and now what are you going to do? Lay around the rest of the day in your fucking pajamas? You know? What about me, huh? The fucking working man? Drinking Boilermakers till 6 in the morning, and now I'm operating heavy machinery? Go fuck yourself. It's not my fault, okay? Fuck you. You're doing heavy machinery. That makes you make like fucking $30 an hour. $30 an hour to take down a mountain. All right. That made no sense whatsoever. I just have a bunch of random notes here. Notes that I've made over the past week. Here's an idea I had at an airport. Nothing suffers like the luggage of fat people. And I don't know how I came up with that. Oh, I know what it was. I just saw this woman dragging her wheelie sideways. Or was it a guy? I can't remember. Once you get to that size, does it really matter? You ever think about that? You become so big, you just become asexual. This is my late-night DJ voice, sort of trying to convince you of some things. All right, that was creepy. I'm sorry. All right, you want to talk about creepy? Let's talk about how President Obama, Barack Obama was on The Tonight Show this week. Did that disturb anyone as a fucking American? Is he in Dude, Where's My Car, Part 2? You know, what the fuck are you doing on The Tonight Show? I got a big argument with my girlfriend about that. You know, she's like, oh, it's good. It's a great way to reach people. It's like, why don't you have a fucking press conference? Right? All you got to do is wheel out that podium. The whole world sits around and watches it. I couldn't sit there and watch it. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, shouldn't you be like near the red phone? What if the red phone rings and you're on there, you know, picking your fucking March Madness brackets? It's unreal how the presidency has just gone downhill just over the last fucking 10 years. Like right around 10 years ago was when Bill Clinton got impeached because of some fucking skank. You know? Every president. Can you even begin to understand not only the amount of world leaders that have been in the Oval Office, but the amount of fucking skanks that have been in there? That's the original Playboy Mansion. All right? Guys have been in there getting blown for centuries. Women love power. Guys love blowjobs. Okay? And when you marry the two, you get the fucking Oval Office. That is ground zero for that shit. And the guy got fucking impeached for it. It's right there. I thought that knocked down the presidency. That the president, with fucking Secret Service at his fingertips, can't get a fucking blowjob, right? He gets busted. And then you had, what's his face? Georgie Part 2, whose dad evidently didn't teach him how to give a speech. So we had to look at that fucking retard for the last 8 years, giving a speech where he sounds like somebody giving a book report who didn't read the book. You know what I mean? Kind of fucking looking around. He had that shit. And now we got this fuckhead going on The Tonight Show. You know? Like he's Ashton Kutcher. I don't know. I don't like it. This is three presidents in a row where I don't like what they're doing. You wear the blue suit, you wear the fucking tie, and you should have an air about you that you just shouldn't be on the Tonight Show. You know what I mean? Tonight on the Tonight Show, Paris Hilton, Ashton Kutcher, and President Obama. You know what? I didn't even watch it. I'm like literally criticizing something I didn't even watch. You know, I just couldn't sit there and watch that show. Like, hey, so did you get to ride in the presidential limo? Huh? Does it have a Hemi? Has he got a Hemi? Are we doing donuts? We doing burnouts? I don't know. All right, let's get on with the fuck. I'm really, really in an extra fucking shit mood right now. You know, it all started last night when I yelled at that coyote. You know, that's what I did. I turned my back on nature. It actually kind of freaked me out because it was just a couple of blocks down my street. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden there's like a fucking Will Smith movie playing out at 3 a.m. And I was kind of wondering like where the fuck that thing came from. I know the Hollywood Hills are kind of off there in the distance, but you know, what do coyotes eat? Roadrunners, huh? Who watches cartoons? I do. But they never catch them. I wonder if that's even fucking true. You know what I mean? Roadrunners can fly, right? They just choose not to. They'd rather run. Be the fucking martyr. Make all the other birds feel guilty for taking the easy way out. All right, let's get on with the questions here because this podcast is in a cul-de-sac right now. I've driven down a street. It says not a throughway, and I continued down the fucking street, and now I'm just driving around in a fucking circle. Okay, Bill, I've been listening to your podcast since I watched you perform, and because it's nice to hear someone use the word cunt every 5 minutes. You know, a lot of people have been giving me shit about that, say I use the word cunt too much, and that they're starting to use it in their everyday life, and they're, you know, they're dropping it in weird times. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to use the word cunt so much, all right? You cunt. Hey, he did a cunt joke. All right, in addition, here's the rest of the question, Bill. How do you feel about the way non-Irish people celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Quite frankly, it pisses me off. It's a day to celebrate the patron saint of Ireland, not to get drunk. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and here we have a big parade downtown. It's so annoying seeing the drunks filling the streets. People stereotype us as if we're the only culture that has a drink once in a while. I'm Irish American, and I'm probably the only woman of Irish descent who has never been drunk. Really? My family and I usually have a traditional meal of boiled potatoes, carrots, cabbage, corned beef, and Irish soda bread. Now, let me tell you something. If ever there was a fucking reason to get drunk, it's to kill the taste. Boiled potatoes, carrots, cabbage, corned beef, and you can just taste the hot water on the fucking overboiled vegetables. Every nutrient is just taken out of them. You wonder why us Irish people have such pasty fucking skin and no pigment. And we boil all the fucking nutrition out of the vegetables. Anyways, personally, she says, I think traditional Irish food sucks, and it's mostly because they didn't cultivate much except for potatoes and cabbage. Well, you ever think maybe they were too fucking drunk to get a cookbook? You know? But I do like Irish soda bread. I remember you saying you don't go out drinking. I don't think I ever said that. Is that a typo? But do you ever do anything? And do you like Irish foods? I got to admit, I really do like a corned beef sandwich, and I really do like potatoes. I do not like boiled potatoes. Boiled potatoes are disgusting, and you need at least half a stick of butter, salt and pepper to just kill the taste of what you did to it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of anything that you should boil other than drinking water during a fucking catastrophe. You know, what do you boil? Rice. Right? Is that what you boil? I don't know, but let me get back to the question. How do I feel about people who celebrate St. Patrick's Day? I don't go out on St. Patrick's Day. It's a very bad day to go drinking. You know, everybody out in their green plastic hats. and they're saying, "Hey, the green alligator and the long neck goose." Yeah, it's very it's like drinking on New Year's Eve, and all the dumb cunts are out with their stupid little hoary outfits, and as if the sound of the noisemakers weren't ear-piercing enough, you got them shrieking over them. It's just a horrible time to go out, and I still haven't answered the question. How do I feel about non-Irish people celebrating St. Patrick's Day? I really could give a shit. I think it's a statement of, I don't know, how empty their lives are, or how the herd just follows whatever the fuck they're supposed to do. There's always like that one traditional guy, and he's got to wear the Scully cap and the Irish sweater, standing over in the corner, cutting into a bar of soap with a knife. You know that guy? I could give. I'm German Irish, and I could give a shit about St. Patrick's Day. I don't know the story of the patron saint, and I don't give a fuck. I think when I was in my 20s, I used to go out to pubs on St. Patrick's Day, and I used to do it because I thought I could get laid that night because I looked so Irish, and then some girl would be like, "Oh my God, this is what the day is about. Here's a leprechaun right here. Maybe I'll blow him." That's the only reason why I went out. I was desperately trying to be interesting. But now I don't go out. I don't go out on New Year's, and I don't go out on St. Patrick's Day. I don't go out on Flag Day. Any sort of day, Earth Day, I stay home. Those are just douchebag days. And what you want to do is whatever people are doing is you do it the next day. Like Valentine's Day. Everyone brings their broad out to go fucking whatever, right? You can't get a reservation anywhere. The fucking prices are jacked up through the roof. This is what you do. You go out on the 15th. That's what you do. And you tell your woman that that's what you're doing because you're going to get a fucking table anywhere you want. You're not going to get raped on the charges. You'll probably actually be able to go to a better restaurant than you would have on the night of the 14th. And that's a great, Bronx Tale, the lock the door test. That's a great way to see if you're with a cool girl or not, if she'd let you take her out on the 15th. Because it really doesn't make a fucking difference, does it? You're going to get to see if she is an independent thinker or if she's fucking stuck in must-see TV, and is going to drag you to the Macy Day fucking Thanksgiving parade one day. Because that's what you do. Everybody else is doing it. We have to do it. Honey, it's not that I don't love you. We're just going to get raped here on the price, You're trying to find a bargain on Valentine's Day? I want to be rude, bitch, but you're in the relationship too. You're not paying for the fucking meal. How does that work? Exactly. You know what? Now I'm not even taking you out. Well, go ahead and cry. It's not going to work. This is all fucking fake because, I just exposed you for being selfish. How do you like that? Now, that was great. You like that? You like that little riff I did there? I always win the hypothetical arguments. Okay. Bill, how would I go about getting a personalized autographed DVD set from you? DVD set? I didn't know they were releasing them in a set. Do I have a trilogy of DVDs like The Godfather? How would you go about that? You'd come out to one of my shows. That's what you would do. And you'd buy one, and I'd stand there, and I'd fucking sign it for you, and I'd smile like a jackass as I waited the excruciating 8 seconds that it takes for a digital camera to click before the 3 flash bulbs go poof, 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 poof. Remember those disposable cameras? As bad as they were for the environment, I imagine, how great were those things? Say cheese, click, and it was over. Now, they fucking got those digital cameras. They're like, okay, 1, 2, 3. And then you're sitting there waiting and waiting with that fucking smile plastered on your face. Like that fucking newscaster who goes to throw it to the other newscaster in the field, and then it doesn't go, and then you're just staring at the entire state that you're broadcasting to. Now off the mic, out in Chelmsford. Okay, we seem to be having some technical difficulty. That's what it's like getting your picture taken on a fucking digital camera. And you know what's even better is when they accidentally hit video, and then you're standing there with a smile on your face like, You start talking through your teeth. Is it going? Hold the button down. You got to hold it down. You know how many times that's happened to me after my shows, and they're like, oh, my God, I had it on video. And those are the times when I wish I didn't sell shit at the end of my shows. You know, I like meeting people after my shows. I definitely like doing that. But, you know, sometimes you feel like a fucking idiot. You know, especially when people come up to you and like, you know, do this joke. Can you just say pesto and then we'll take the picture? No, I can't. Oh, my God, you're so grumpy. Shut up. Take the picture. All right. Anyways, he said, anyways, let me go on with this guy. He says, I'm happy to pay for it, and I have a downloaded copy. He's paid for to my iPhone, but I want an autographed one, so let me know what I need to do to get one, where or how to pay for it. All right, I'm kind of being a douche here, but, like, you know, people ask me for, like, autographed photos and shit like I'm Fonzie sometimes, and they like expect me to pay the postage and all that type of shit, and it's just I'm not doing that. Okay, all right. I hang out at the end of my shows. I take pictures. I autograph. I do everything but kiss fucking babies. All right. I do this podcast every week. I'm not going to get myself into a situation where I got to go to the post office, you know, every other day. All right, with manila envelopes. I'm not doing that shit. You know, trying to think of something to write before I sign mine. That's the hardest thing about giving an autograph. Can you make it out to Susie? And then I always write Susie, and then I sign my name, and I'm like, then I try to think what to write, and I'm like, fuck. God bless. Hey, Susie. What's going on, Bill Burr? Ah, shit. All right. Who complains about signing autographs? You know what? I do. Okay. Okay, let's get on with this. I'm really sounding like a fucking... When do I get off complaining? I like how I acted like someone asked me for a photograph every other day. I was going to say every 20 minutes, and I'm like, they'll never believe that. I'll say every other day. That's not even true. It's usually like once a month, and it's usually somebody with a fatal disease, and I still don't send it to them. Because that's the kind of guy I am. All right? Also, Bill, let me move on here. You should really promote the podcast. Okay, Bill, you should really promote the podcast for download on iTunes. The shit is so easy that once you do it, you have the podcast on your iPhone and you can listen to it in the car or anywhere other than in front of a computer. Well, there you go, everybody. You can download it on iTunes. Thank you, sir. You just hyped it for me. All right, last week I had a big question about the difference between hotels and motels. And, well, first of all, before I get into this shit, how about those Bruins, huh? Beat the New Jersey Devils. I got any New Jersey Devil fans out there? Huh? Do you like that little 4-1 victory? I'm just fucking with you. You guys got a great team. And if you're not watching hockey right now, I really feel bad for you. All you guys watching March Madness and, you know, waiting for that awful song at the end of the tournament when they show the great moments. I had a dream. They usually pick like the most syrupy song as they show all the dunks in slow motion and the people being excited and then crying. What is this song that they sing? Tonight I need your sweet caress. Hold me in the darkness. I'm telling you right now, playoff hockey's coming. The Flyers are playing great. The Rangers lost yesterday, but they're coming on. The Capitals are fucking ridiculous. The goddamn Devils got an insane team as always. I really hate the Devils. I just hate their I hate the cunty style of hockey that they played throughout the 90s with the left wing lock and the trap defense. I swear to God, not disrespecting, you know, Marty Brodeur over there and the big record that he got, but, you know, it's a little padded. It's a little fucking padded with the fucking trap defense. I mean, he spent half his career, half the saves he made was skating behind his neck, stopping the puck because they just would dump it in because they'd clog up the neutral zone. And you know what I mean? And that was also during the clutch and grab era. Jesus Christ, I could have squeezed out a couple of shutouts. All right, that's bullshit. I just hated that period of hockey. And when I think about that period of hockey, I think about the New Jersey Devils. And still to this day, I don't understand why the NHL just didn't say that's an illegal defense. You know what I mean? It's like when Wilt Chamberlain was fucking dunking on everybody, you know? They came up with rules to keep it competitive because it's a fucking business. You know? The 3-second rule. You can't have some guy just standing in the fucking paint who's 9 feet tall. Goaltending, they came up with that shit. And they came up with illegal defenses. I still don't know why they allow that defense. It's the worst fuck. They had to get rid of the red line because of that shit. I don't know. But I was watching yesterday, and they don't play it anymore, so I really enjoyed it. But as usual, they just got great fucking players, and they play smart fucking hockey. And I don't know. It's going to be a tough fucking road. And for those of you who I want to know, this is a question I have for you. Who the fuck are these people who are trying to get the fighting out of hockey? I don't understand them. You know, watch a different sport. Hockey's not for you. All right? And if it's somebody in hockey, stop doing it. Don't get rid of fighting in hockey, all right, and think that you're going to be as popular as baseball, basketball, or football. You're not, all right? You're a rogue fucking sport. You know what really is hard about hockey is if you didn't grow up playing it or in like a hockey family or in a hockey town, it's the hardest fucking game to watch on TV. I was kind of noticing that yesterday. Like, you literally have to be not only watching what's on the screen, but what is like literally 20 feet to the left of your screen. You know what I mean? You gotta figure out, like, guess when they're like, you can, after a while, you watch it long enough, you know what's going on to the left or to the right of the play that is literally off the TV screen. You just, they're changing lines. Like, you just know shit like that. I can't see the puck. Well, fucking watch bowling, you blind bastard. All right, here's a question I had last week. I asked, what's the difference between a hotel and a motel? You know what I mean? And I thought it was basically, you know, if your door opens up out to the parking lot, that is a fucking motel. If a serial killer doesn't have to kill somebody at a front desk and get in an elevator, or at least walk 100 yards of carpet before he kills you, that is a hotel. No, that is a motel. I'm sorry. If he has to do that shit, that is a hotel. And evidently I am right, because one person said that I was, and that's the amount of research that I do with everything in my life. Bill, if you drive up to your room, you are at a motel, and you deserve to hear the people fucking next to you. Oh, wait, I read that wrong because I have dyslexia. Let me start over again. Take a deep breath, focus. You can do this. Bill, if you drive up to your room, you are at a motel, and you deserve to hear the fucking people next to you talk about their free fucking HBO. Okay, that was really funny, and I butchered it. Anyways, he goes, that shit sucks. Also, you're killing me. You're fucking killing me. You spent $89 on a cheap motel. Are you fucking nuts? I always hear about this internet stuff, and I never do it. And he writes in capital letters, dude. Then he goes back to regular typing. Listen to me. Go to Priceline next time you're traveling and look up a hotel and pick the highest star rating and do not bid any more than $89, and you'll get the best hotel in this city for that price. I would tell you to go down to $59 or $69, but just stick with $89. Please, just try it once. I traveled the road for 14 years, and I kicked myself in the ass when I realized what I'd been missing out on. Thanks for the free podcast to the highlight of my Monday mornings. Well, thanks for the fucking info. That's that William Shatner shit. I don't even pay attention to commercials. I just look at the glitzy lights. I'm like, oh wow, look at William Shatner. You know, he's keeping it going. Guy did Star Trek 40 fucking years ago, and he's still working. You know? And he has a hell of a toupee. All right, Ask Bill. Here we go. Here's the Ask Bill section of the podcast. Did I just stutter there? All right, Ask Bill. Bill, I need your advice. I had something very horrible happen to me, and, oh, man, this is brutal. Settle into your Staples office chair for this one, people. This is a tough situation, all right? And I don't know if I got the life experience to get you out of this one. Ask Bill. Okay, Bill, I need your advice. I had something very, very horrible happen to me, and it's nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Sorry, Led Zeppelin. All right, I have this friend who, don't get me wrong, is a good friend, but is that one type of friend who's really fucking annoying, but wanting to hang out 24/7. Just recently, I got a new girlfriend, and I've been spending all my time with her. My friend then became jealous, becoming more and more annoying by making me feel bad for being with my girl. Anyway, long story short, to vent, I wrote an email to my girl just trashing my friend up and down the fucking road for being the moron. Wait a minute. Could you use a smaller typeset? You know I suck at reading. Okay, I see it. Trashing my friend up and down, but being the moron that I am, and here we go, people. Instead of just emailing it to her, I checked the send all option, sending this horrendous email to everyone on my email list. Oops. My email list doesn't really have too many people on it, but it does have the friend I was trashing, of course. It just made me realize that you shouldn't say things behind someone's back if you can't say it to their face. So I'm nominating myself for douchebag of the week, LOL. What would be your advice? Send an apology email or just ignore them? That's the worst. That's the worst. Because you know what sucks about that is you're 100% in the right that this guy is a douchebag, but now you became the douchebag because, and you know what's funny is if he had a girlfriend, he would be doing the same thing. He just wouldn't have been dumb enough to fucking send to everyone. I don't know. What should you do? Should you send an apology email? No. First of all, stop writing things down on paper. That's number one. Don't ever do that. And number two, learn how to spell apology. There's no E. I wouldn't just ignore him. You got to take it like a man. You just got to walk up to him and just be like, yeah, you know, I wrote it, and you know what? I meant it. You've been a cunt. And that's it. So, you want to punch me in the face knowing that I'm going to defend myself and punch you too? So, you know, that's kind of where we're at. I know it sucks. I don't know. You know what? I think I'm getting uncomfortable thinking about the situation you put yourself in. I really don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do with that one. You got caught, and you kind of turned yourself in. You should be on America's Dumbest Shit Talkers. You know that show, right? America's Dumbest Criminals, and the guys put whipped cream on their face, and they stand in line at the bank, and it melts off their face. And by the time they get up, this is what this guy, he did the email equivalent of that. I don't know what you got to do. Do you laugh? I have no, you know what? I got no advice on this one. I got to throw this to the listeners. All right, I got to go to a. What do they say there? I got to phone a friend here. If anybody has any advice as what the fuck this guy's supposed to do, I'll read it next week because I don't know what to do. It's checkmate. Checkmate. I don't know what to do. Dump your girlfriend, change your name, and move to Alaska. Either that or you just. I think you just got to take it. All right. So what did you learn? No more fucking emails, right? And you got to watch out, too, because you'll vent to your fucking girlfriends. And even when she's in a good mood, she's still going to tell half the fucking story to one of her close friends. You know what I mean? I don't know why. They really, I don't know. You think women are bad at keeping it? You think guys are overrated about their ability to keep a secret? I'm great at keeping a secret because I forget shit. Not because I have any sort of code. I just, I have really bad memory, and after like 3 days, I can't remember. Like, you could literally be like, Bill, you know what? Don't say anything, but I fucked so-and-so's wife. I feel like shit. I can't believe it. I have so much guilt. I just had to tell somebody. Please don't tell anybody. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, dude, no problem. And literally, I'm not saying 2-3 days later, but if by a year and a half, if I went out to dinner with all the people involved, maybe sometime around dessert, I would be like, oh, wait a minute. He fucked that guy's wife. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So it's not like I can keep a secret. I can't fucking remember. Yeah, Bill, we got it. And we understood with the example. You don't need to go back into it. Why don't you wrap up the fucking podcast? All right? You're 40 fucking minutes in. All right. Relax. This is going to be a long podcast if I don't get going here. All right, let's get on to revenge stories, okay? Now, this is a question I have because every revenge story seems to be from guys. None of them seem to be from females. So finally a woman chimed in with some sort of revenge, but it wasn't really revenge. Or maybe it was revenge, and she was just doing the typical thing that women do when they tell stories is they never get to the fucking point. No, kidding. Oh, Jesus, I'm crabby today. All right, here's one from a woman. Bill, I usually don't take serious revenge on someone, but I take so much pleasure in other person's fuck-ups and misery. I always take comfort finding out that someone I hate has such a miserable life. Here's a story about my egghead douche ex-boyfriend. All right, I already like the sound of this. All right, to start the story, I will admit that I was a cunt who rarely gave him anything sexual for 2 years. Jesus Christ, that's one of those relationships that died the final 2 years, and no one just had the nerve to be like, hey, so why don't we both just fuck off? Anyways, she goes, at least he put up with that shit. Any other guy would probably want to do stuff or get sick of it and dump my ass. Anyway, he always played PC games such as World of Warcraft. He got so fucking engrossed in that game and paying money every month to renew his subscription. What a dumbass. However, players can talk to other players in their guild or on their side of the game. After I broke up with him, I found out that he was talking to some chick behind my back for a year. The story gets better. This is where my revenge happens. I didn't have to do shit to ruin his life. Okay. So after I dump his ass, he continues talking to the cunt he met from the game. He thinks he's in love with her, parentheses, retard, so he goes to Canada to be with her where she lives. I guess he thought she was going to be the one, and he proposed. But a month later, he gets deported back to America, and like a dumbass, he lets her keep the $3,000 ring on her finger. After a short period of time, he tried to go back, but he gets deported again. So he's a college dropout who lives at home with his mommy, and he's out $3,000. In addition, a while after he starts dating this Jewish bitch. They were dating for about a year and a half, 1.5 years. Then she dumps him because she decides it's not going to work out because he's Catholic. And the icing on the cake is that all I have to do to make him feel even more pathetic is let him find out I banged my boyfriend. And everything he does usually comes back to me because he keeps in contact with one of my good friends. Anyway, anyone who is on my bad side who has fucked with me has always had something come back to bite them in the ass. I take great pleasure in that. Jesus Christ. Wow. That is a fucking, hell hath no fury. I love how you dumped him and you think he's a loser and you're still getting enjoyment that he has this horrific life. That's scary, man. You know, I usually expect that sort of evilness out of guys. You know, that's just really frightening. Like, that's a mom? That's going to be somebody's mom? No more wire hangers ever! All right, Bill, here's another story of revenge. You know what that story, if you think I'm being a jerk to that person? It's that the guy really didn't do anything to you. You know? He was a lame dude. He was a loser. You dumped him. And then his life continued to go down the toilet. And I don't know, and you're just, enjoying him getting dizzy as he goes down? I don't fucking get it. Anyways, here we go. Revenge story number 2. About 20 years ago, I was living in downtown Chicago. By the way, this person is, I know I read really bad out loud, but this guy is typing even a smaller type. I don't understand. Can you guys type a little bit bigger? And don't be a cunt and just give me the biggest size, okay? That's really a second-grade joke, all right? We're trying to do something serious here, people. Do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. And I'll sit here and start it through the emails. Bill, okay, let me get out my magnifying glass. About 20 years ago, I was living in downtown Chicago in a high-rise that had a multi-level parking garage. I paid a monthly fee and had a designated covered spot. This guy was doing great. It sounded like he worked like one of those 20 years ago. I think he was selling health insurance. Anyways, one night I came home to find another car parked in my assigned spot. And since it was about 2 a.m., I just said, fuck it, and drove to the roof deck where there was always plenty of open spaces. At about 10 a.m., I was looking out the window of my apartment, and I saw a tow truck driving down LaSalle Street with my car attached to the back. Since I was on the 18th floor, there was no chance to catch the tow truck, so I went down to the office and asked the management why my car was towed. She said that I was parked in someone else's spot. I explained that someone was parked in my spot and that there was probably 30 empty spots on the roof deck. Plus, the fact that my car had a sticker on the windshield showed that I was a resident. She said that there was nothing she could do, and so I asked to speak to the person who had my car towed. She called the girl who had my car towed, and she came down to the office. She was a total cunt about the whole situation and insisted that she did the right thing. Well, since I couldn't blast this cunt in the face, I decided to take revenge on her car since I knew exactly where she parked. Once again, revenge is coming back to fucking up somebody's car. All right. So here we go. Here is the revenge. I waited about 2 months, and then I got a syringe from my mother, who is a diabetic. Did you make sure she had an extra one? I hope you didn't take her last one. See what happens when you go down the road of revenge? Next thing you know, you're stealing syringes from your mom. So anyways, I steal the syringe from my mom, who's a diabetic. Then I went to a sporting goods store and bought rut, which is basically deer urine. I then proceed to load the syringe with rut, and I injected it into all the rubber moldings around the windows of this girl's cars. It smelled awful. My parking spot was one level below her spot, and I could smell it every day. I know that taking revenge on a car is a wimpy move, but it did feel good. Always remember, revenge is a dish best served cold. Jesus Christ. Wow, man. You went like fucking CIA on that. That's like something they would miss in like the autopsy because it's little fucking needle fucking holes. I got to admit, that is definitely, fucking up somebody's car is not too original, but that is, dude, you grew up in the backwoods. No city kid knows about rut. You know what I mean? Yeah, you grew up in the backwoods. You did, didn't you? Your mom's a diabetic, lived in a trailer, ate off a George Foreman grill. You were going to show everybody in your high school class that you were better than this. So you got some big fancy job. You lived in a high-rise. You had your own spot, And you were looking out your window, looking out over the South Street, stroking your cock, and you thought you had the whole world by the balls. And what happened? They towed your fucking Mazda Miata right out of your goddamn spot, right? And it brought you right back to your childhood, didn't it? And then you took revenge. The same way those kids took revenge on you in second grade. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this shit. All right. Let's go to this next one. All right, Bill. Is this another story of revenge? Bill, so I dated a chick for 2 years, on and off, and this was my first real girlfriend in high school. And I thought she was the perfect, most amazing girl in the world. I was an idiot and like 17 years old. I'm still an idiot at 23, but I sure as hell won't let this crap happen again. Anyways, I let her walk all over me, and I just took it like a bitch. It was the kind of thing where she could fucking cheat on me in front of me, and I'd believe her if she told me she wasn't. I was that fucking pathetic. Eventually, though, after hearing that your girlfriend is cheating on you for so long, it eats away at you. Uh-oh. Can you hear the foreboding music in the background? Eventually, she posted some bullshit poem on MySpace about some dude she was going out with at the same time she was going out with me. Wow. That's pretty bold. And anyway, she goes, the fucker who she was cheating with even had the balls to post on there talking about how sweet she was. So finally I had my proof. She wasn't getting out of this. And here comes the revenge. So I actually messaged the guy and start telling him that I've been fucking her the whole time that he's been going out with her. He starts telling me that he even knows of her cheating on him, and he took her back. So we teamed up to destroy her. See, this is where it goes wrong. This is where it gets evil. This is why I do not partake. They're teaming up now to destroy another human being, and this is how it plays out. All right, here we go. By this time, I was out of high school, and they were both, and, wait a minute. By this time, I was out of high school, and they were both at the same high school. I guess the guy and this girl. Basically, I showed up to her school, and what we did was bring up all this shit that she did up in the middle of all her little fucking friends she cared about so much. She cared so much about, and explained how much of a whore she was. Other dudes even came up and said they were going out with her at the same time. I was fucking her and shit. This bitch was the fucking public bicycle everyone was riding. Well, it completely ruined the rest of high school for her. Now, 5 or 6 years later, me and the dude are still friends. There's a win for the guys who got treated like shit out there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Dude, that's just fucking, I don't know, man. I cut my losses. That reminds me of an intervention story where there was this girl whose dad didn't stick around, so she, I don't know what, and she develops young, and the guys be like, hey, let me see your titties, and she just show them to him, not realize, she just liked the fucking male attention. So she's dancing as a cheerleader, and I don't know what she did. She blew a couple of guys, and so she's dancing as a cheerleader, and her entire high school class just started chanting, whore, 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 or something like that. And then she bursted in tears, and then she became a fucking alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? But you know something? You don't have the mentality to know that at that age, and that show wasn't on. So why am I playing armchair quarterback and ruining your revenge? I don't know. Revenge, I don't know. It's fucking creepy, man. We ruined the rest of high school for her, and then we high-fived and kicked a puppy. All right, here we go. Overrated, underrated. This is the last thing here. Overrated, and this is something that I've been meaning to bring up. This is one of the overrated that I agree with, I think, the most. Overrated, multi-blade razors. A few months ago, I started using my dad's old double-edged razor made almost 20 years ago before I was born. It's fucking great. My face feels better than ever, and I can get 100 blades for less than what it costs for an 8-pack of those 3 or 5 blade cartridges. If you're going to shave like a man, introduce an element of danger to it. I actually have a couple of straight razors too, but it's too much work, and I don't use them on a regular basis. Dude, there's nothing to it. One of the worst things that ever happened to me on the road was I left my toiletries behind, I think in Tampa, a long time ago. Not only did I lose my little Tough Crowd shaving kit bag, I lost that fucking thing. And I lost my twin blade razor. And then I went on to the triple blade razor, and I have a whisker underneath my nose that it just can't get it. It just doesn't get it. It sucks around your chin. It's just terrible. The 2-blade razor is the shit, and you will never get a closer shave than that. Everything else is fucking bullshit. I was wondering, though, what about, you ever seen those things on TV where you can sharpen your razor blades? Anybody buy one of those, huh? Is this podcast going on? Oh, my God, 53 more minutes. I got to get out of here. All right. Underrated. Your podcast. It's fucking great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Here's another good one. Overrated. Chicks in bars and clubs. Underrated. Chicks at the laundromat. The skill set in these two groups is so far off it's ridiculous. Chicks in bars and clubs just spackle on so much makeup that they can barely hold their heads up long enough to accept your drink before they shoot you down. But, dude, dramatic pause, raising my eyebrow type shit. He actually typed that, helping me with my reading ability. I like that. I like direction. But, dude, a chick in the laundromat is so sexy, it's crazy. They're wearing probably the last clean shit that they own. That's just a little too tight. They don't put on makeup. So, dude, you're really sounding like a pervert right now. You know, they're wearing that last piece of clean clothes that they got. You know, it's a little bit too tight. They don't put any makeup on, and they're pretty at that moment, and they look unbelievable, and you know they're going to look like that for the rest of the time. I'm just reading the rest of your shit like a pervert. Actually, dude, you're right. You make some great points here. Plus, they're doing some responsible shit while they're hungover, and they're trying not to throw up on their newly clean clothes. Sorry, I went too long. Yeah, dude, you did. You're actually making a great point. You do. Yeah, you did. All right, that's the end of the podcast. Okay, it kind of petered out. Kind of like the Colorado River, not reaching the ocean anymore. Anyways, before I'm going to be in St. Louis this week at the House of Comedy. I have the link right there on my website. Go to BillBurr.com, BURR.com. And I want to thank everybody who came out to my Monday shows at the Punchline in San Francisco. I really wish I talked about that in the beginning. To be honest with you, those were two of the best shows I've ever had in my life. That second show, it was ridiculous. For those of you who weren't there, I just started telling stories. And I probably did close to an hour and a half, 15 minutes of which was actually from my act. So, you know, it was all material I'm never going to do again because it was all family stories and fucked up shit that I would never talk about on TV. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a great time, and I'm thinking about coming up there again in a couple of months at the Punchline and maybe having that be a regular thing, just coming up on Mondays and doing a couple of shows and just venting about the people in my life, you know, and not having to worry about them ever hearing about it. All right, and that is it. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you guys for contributing. And what else? Oh, you know what? People have been asking me about my MySpace page, asking about the comments. I kind of haven't been accepting comments since last September. I just kind of forgot about it. I just was adding friends and answering emails. I think the podcast took up a lot of time, so I'm back to accepting comments. I literally had like 400 or 600 comments. It didn't allow me to, here it is, comment approvals. I'll click on this right now. This is garbage time right now. You don't even need to listen to this shit. I have 419 that I have to approve. So I'm trying to get back on that shit. But anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast, and I'm going to try to get some new photos up there on my website and on the MySpace page. That's it. You guys have a great week. Okay, bye-bye.